Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Salisbury City Council work session on August the 20th, 2018. We have a limited agenda today, and first up is a resolution to extend EDU incentive area. And Amanda, you're up. How are you?
Great, thank you. Good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
This first item is to talk about extending the EDU incentive area that was created 5 years ago already. In September of 2013, we set aside 300 EDUs from the Linens of the Week property.
Right.
Said we're not going to use them there anymore. We are now taking them and we're going to use those to incentivize development and redevelopment in the downtown district, central business district, riverfront redevelopment area, and the enterprise zone. So this was an effort from the mayor and city council to really try to help developers in these areas. To date, we have used 20.8 of the 300 EDUs on 4 different projects. So we still have 279.2 EDUs available for use. In the original ordinance that established this EDU incentive area, we did say that there was the opportunity to reevaluate it near the end of the 5-year term. So since we are within a month of that, I wanted to bring it forward to you to reevaluate it and consider extending it for another 5-year period, since we're still in the midst of trying to redevelop these areas and incentivize growth.
Questions?
Nope.
The area, the incentive area, just for everybody at home, could you just go over that real quick?
Sure. So it helps to look on the zoning map and its specific districts. So the downtown development district,
Right.
central business district, which incorporates most of downtown, riverfront redevelopment area, which goes out towards the marina and up the North Prong, and then enterprise zone. So different areas of the city that have been designated an enterprise zone. All of those are included in this. And there are criteria. The original ordinance set forth criteria. All the projects have to comply with our zoning code, with our comprehensive plan. If you're getting a waiver for something else like affordable housing, you can't apply. It has to be consistent with the comprehensive plan, as well as increase the number of permanent living wage jobs for the city. So there's a significant amount of criteria that we look at for each project that comes forward. In order to qualify. Absolutely.
Is the area up by University that we just made some adjustments for the hotel, is that in that area?
Not unless there's an enterprise zone, but I don't think there is
I think
there.
the enterprise ends up by the hospital.
I don't know where
Right.
it stopped.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
stopped.
So no, it would not be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Just, Amanda's, the development that was here, what is the, it's the,
It's Dave Simpson.
yeah.
Oh,
Is that, are they gonna do that next to, are they gonna come to us and ask for them
They
as
said
well?
they would like to apply.
Oh.
They have not applied yet, but that was your question, are they gonna apply? Yes. So we don't have an application from them yet, but I would expect to see one.
If we don't see one, we should call them and tell them.
Yes, we did tell them. They
Oh,
know
you did tell
They
them,
know
okay.
it's available,
All right.
so,
Actually, correction, that area looks like it's in.
okay.
Yeah, if you look at the enterprise zone,
Is the bridge the end?
well, actually Milford Street, so.
Looks like Milford
Milford.
Street is the cutoff.
Because it's south of Milford, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so it's not.
Gotcha, okay. Any other questions from the council? We do have one request for comment, and Mr. Smith, you'll have 4 minutes. Go right ahead.
Meet my little friend Jack. Jack on. First of all, the EDU is based on the capacity fee, is that correct?
That's correct.
Which is at what, $3,533?
That's correct.
Okay. This originally started about 5 years ago. You've only used 20.8 of them. I say only, which amounted to 73,486. You have 279.2 left for a total of $1,059,900. The fund balance in the water and sewer in 2013 was 17,356,000. 2014, 7 million, and 2015, 56 million. 5,600,000, and it's now at a minus 250,000. So you're going to give another $1 million in abatements on water and sewer hookups, and Messrs. Imad Abu Ahmad D and Ike Assad, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing your names, AKA 500 Riverside Realty, want to use 200 and over $200,000 for just their development. I don't understand. It's like the fund balance has dropped by millions, tens of millions. The rates have gone up. You made an extra $1 million with the rate increases. And I just don't understand why we continue to give taxpayer money away all the time. If it's such a great idea and these businesses are viable, why can't they absorb the fights? We're giving these gentlemen $299,000 of our money before they even start. It's called profit in business, which I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying that they didn't make the rules. I still don't understand why we, the taxpayer, have to fund privately owned, profit-oriented businesses. And especially at that rate, that's a high rate of expense for taxpayers, especially when the reflection of lowering expenditures of government, it's just never done. It's always increase, increase, increase. And it didn't work that well for the first 5 years because you only used 20 of them. Now you want to extend it another 2 years. You've got to get that extra, well, you've got to total out to $1.5 million of taxpayer money. It's like a disease. You spend, spend, spend. And that's really all I have to say about it.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, just a question for you. Part of that reduction of the balance in the sewer was actually a lowering of the rate to the citizens, wasn't it?
A reduction in the balance?
No?
When we had the new wastewater treatment plant that we,
I'm fairly certain that the balance reduction was related to, it was,
had lawsuit proceeds.
right, but restricted.
Right.
Restricted.
We started
Restricted.
utilizing some of the restricted funds of which we were keeping in accounts, and
Right.
now we were utilizing them for projects instead of borrowing more money.
Right. So instead of borrowing, we're
It never should have
using
been
that.
at 17 million.
Right.
It never
only
should
that
have
way
been, because if we would have had.
Salisbury won the
Right.
lawsuit,
Okay,
Right.
and those proceeds came in,
okay.
Yes,
which eventually had to leave the city as well.
yes.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right, do we have consensus to move forward?
Yes.
Okay, we do.
Okay, very good.
And next item, you're still here,
I'm still here.
EDU waiver, 500 Riverside.
Okay, the applicant is present. If you would like to come up, or just if there's questions, you're. Okay. Okay. So if there are any questions, the applicant is here. So this is for a capacity fee waiver for 500 Riverside Drive. This is out of that same EDU incentive area bank of 300 EDUs that we were just speaking of. They are seeking for this project 63 EDUs. The project includes restaurant, retail, and offices. 500 Riverside Drive, as I'm sure you all know, but for the benefit of the public, is located at the intersection of Carroll Street, Riverside Drive, Mill Street, and Camden Avenue. So this project is in the Central Business District. We've looked at all the criteria of the ordinance, and it does meet the criteria for the EDU incentive area. The value of the 63 EDUs at the current capacity fee rate is $222,579. We do have enough EDUs available right now to fund this in full, to have all these EDUs. And I did want to note that if this is approved, it's valid for 2 years, and there is a clause that it can be renewed internally if they don't need it within 2 years. That's at the discretion of the department. So we do recommend approval. They meet the criteria, and we recommend approval to use the EDU incentive area for 63 EDUs. I did want to note that if we move forward with this, we will have 216 EDUs remaining.
Right.
So we still have substantial amount in the bank after this project.
Just a quick question. With it being restaurant, retail, and office space, does each person who work there get a bathroom? What I'm trying to
How do you get to
ascertain.
63?
Yeah, how do you get to
Sure.
63?
Restaurants use a fair amount of water, actually,
Okay.
but one thing I mentioned was we look at the capacity fees and how much water they use, and we can adjust it after a couple of years. So
Okay.
if 63 is the estimate based on calculations, and here's how
Oh,
much
I
a
get
restaurant
you.
would
So that
use,
you can-
but their reality will be something, and we have in our code that after 2 years, we'll adjust accordingly. So
Okay.
if they really were only using 40 EDUs or whatever else, we'll adjust this
Okay.
accordingly,
Right.
as we would for any other business coming in, but especially here where it's our incentive area.
Thank you.
May I ask one other question? Just out of curiosity on that same 63, is that for the full build out?
I believe Brock was saying it was for phase one, but we're not positive on that. If it's, I think it may have been the full build out. Brock was looking at it. I'm not sure if it was just the first phase, but again, we'll track it as they come online and see how much they need. I mentioned to them if this isn't enough, well, they could always come back. You know, this isn't a one-time be-all, end-all, but we'll see as they go
So
along.
if there's a second phase of construction and we go and they are using more than 63, that would be a second application?
Sure,
Okay.
yes. And we did
I'm just
have,
curious.
I believe, maybe lodges at Naylor Mill, now that was affordable housing, but they came back for a second phase, but hadn't utilized the full amount in the first phase, so we kind of balanced it out in there. So we'll keep an eye on what's actually being used versus planned.
And what, I know Mr. Smith said something, and you said something about what they're worth. It's the connection to water and sewer.
It is
And what's the total?
$3,533 for capacity fees. That is water and sewer. Yeah, that's the capacity fee
I
for
was
both
just checking.
water.
I said it this morning to myself in the shower, and I was like, I wonder if that's right.
It is
Just 'cause-
correct.
Guess it beats singing.
I know. I know.
Any other questions?
I guess maybe just to point out that we're not giving
Yeah.
them $222,000. This is, you know, if nobody built there, it's not money that is sitting in a
These
pot somewhere.
That's
EDUs
correct.
are already accounted for in our system.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
the hardest thing, I think. I mean, everything that's out on Beagle and Park Drive, everything that's out there, that is all paying connection charges.
Yeah.
These things are for the urban core.
And that money does not go into the fund balance.
And Jim,
It
Mr.
goes
Eisen, where
into a
did that
separate
come from? It was,
fund.
those 300 came because
Millions of-
of,
I said earlier before you got
Did
here,
you-
I dug them up myself.
there you go.
Because it took, never mind. Thank you.
But it
Thank you
was
for
a-
doing what you're doing.
A previous business that had capacity
Yes.
that no longer is utilizing capacity, so
And the
we're.
purpose that we do it, it creates jobs,
That's right.
it creates,
Yeah,
it increases the tax base.
Yes.
the
and-
return on investment,
Exactly.
at the end, he's talking about profit, but the return on investment is significantly more than what we put into it.
Plus,
That's
it gives us another
Right.
place to select in our wonderful selection of restaurants.
Right.
In businesses.
Okay, we have consensus then?
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
great, thank
Thank you,
you.
gentlemen. Anything for the good of the order? I do have one thing. At the county fair, I was at the county fair talking to Ron Wilson, who's a beekeeper. And Ron
You're welcome.
was telling me about the problem we had with the bees last year and the wipeout of about 70% of the bee population.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that there's a tremendous opportunity in the city to accelerate because we were talking about the ordinance to allowing beehives. He goes, have you ever considered putting beehives on roofs? Flat roof buildings, because then they'd be out of the way of people, and they'd also have a better success rate of survival. So I think at some point, we should maybe have them in for a discussion and see if there's anything we need to do to encourage that. Since if the bees go away, so does our food. I think it was a good discussion, so. But, and he's also would come in after the end of September towards October, because he's very busy right now, and do a short presentation on what the bee population means to everybody. Okay?
Very important and serious, but I would say, I think, I speak for Miss Shields when I say, if she gets stung, she's gonna call you.
That's right. I remember that.
Yes, she looked at me and said, if I
That's
ever
right.
get stung.
That's right. It was that and the chickens, remember that?
Yes.
Those were
Yes.
good, those were good meetings.
Yes,
Those
they
were
were.
fun
Well,
meetings.
Your definition of good.
Well, they were.
All right. If there's nothing else, then thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody at home. We are adjourned.